already live. It always does this when I'm not ready. Okay, so I'll hold it. Oh, I won't hold it. Let's see, is it gonna stay? Sorry about the knocking. Alright, I have been trying to upload a video. I wanted to record this first, but then my camera was just taking pictures while I was talking. Then I tried it again, and then the camera died on me. So I'm trying it this way. Sorry it's late. I've had a lot of work today. I still have more work to do. But I wanted to get on and kind of talk about, just briefly, I'm not going to stay on here for too long, maybe like 30 minutes at most. Go over some of the points the Rusiks talked about during their interview with Dr. Phil, and some of the comparisons of how they feel with how many of the people who have been following this case have been feeling. Okay, so I'm gonna try this again and try, hopefully it won't buffer or it won't kick out. But let yourself be known. Don't be afraid to ask a question if you're new or if you haven't been on this channel. It's an open discussion, but if you do put something in the chat or you do leave a comment, just make sure that you stay respectful to all the victims that are involved, and just have a friendly type of discourse. Hey Aquarius, good evening. It's almost morning time, at least here. Alright, I always have to get the notes ready. So the first thing that happened on the episode is Frank gave a little information on the timeline of events. So it started with Shanann getting home and then Chris having an argument with her, but they made up and then they were supposedly intimate. Hold on a second. I see people writing, but I can't see it on my computer, which is the whole point. Hold on. Give me a second. Because when I'm reading, I can't see it. Oh, there it goes. Hey, Nikki from New Zealand. I'm so sad about the whole Chris Watts case. It's currently 4:30 p.m. in the Christchurch. You're in a church, or that's just the name of the area? Hey Carly, somewhat secret. Hey, you're back. Just finished the interview. Love that we're always on the same page. Hey Nikki. Oh Nikki, that's your city, I see. That's the city in New Zealand. I was gonna go to New Zealand once a few years ago, as part of a university trip, but I never got to make it because I was actually in a car accident. But that's besides the point. Yeah, most of the people on this channel are somewhat on the same page. Hey Guitar Girly. Yeah, I was okay. The car, I was coming out of the gas station and another student at the time hit the front of me and completely took the front of the car off, but I was okay. And they were okay. So. Alright, let me get back to this because I can't stay on late because I still have a lot of work to do. But so Frank started by saying that Shanann got home and they had an argument. They made up and they were supposedly intimate. I thought it was really interesting that, and I hope that you guys caught it, that he said the word supposedly. And many of us who've been following the case have thought that Shanann and Chris, like that was part of his confession that he wasn't being truthful about. if you think about it, her being emotionally distressed about what's going on in her relationship, as well as feeling sick, her delayed flight, coming home late, you would think, and even having an argument, that would be the last thing on her mind. Would probably be being intimate with somebody who she's eventually going to confront about cheating. Hey, Janet from North Carolina. So around 4 to 4:30, that's when Frank said that Chris got up, and then they had the second argument. Um, did you guys notice that when they played the clip from the confession interview, um, when I first listened to it, or like I listened to the interview a couple times, it didn't really resonate for me, but when I listened to it on the Dr. Phil episode, it made me start to wonder. They played the clip where Tammy asked Chris, "Did you look at her?" And his response was, "She wasn't fighting." So when I first heard that, I was like, of course she wasn't fighting. You know, she didn't have defense, or you didn't have defense wounds. You probably snuck up on her. But I thought, the more that I thought about it, it's kind of interesting that he didn't really answer her question. She said, "Did you look at her?" All he said was she wasn't fighting, but he's not talking about her facial emotions or anything, which to me implies that either maybe she was on her side, or maybe on her belly, or as they said, or Tammy said that, well, were you on her arms? Like, were your knees on her arms? Yes, Guitar Girly, the autopsy didn't show any signs of sexual activity at all. You couldn't tell if that had been edited by Dr. Phil. I would take a listen to the confession. I have it on the channel, and I try to edit that annoying fan that's in the background. um, so the voices are a little bit distorted, but it's almost as if you can hear it like a phone conversation. That's what it comes to. So I thought that was interesting that he didn't mention her face. He kind of deflected the question. So later on in the interview with the Rusiks, I liked how I found it really nice that they were gracious even to Chris's family, and even in the way that they described him. Before he started cheating, they said that he is an honest person, or he was an honest person. He was loyal and he was very dedicated. But did you guys catch that part where Sandy mentioned, was he almost like play being a good boy, or because it wasn't until the cheating started that he started to shift his whole persona. And so then I started thinking about this a little bit more. And I was thinking, you know, Chris did say that with North Korea or NK, he felt like he can be completely himself. So I've often wondered, you know, did he always know that he was capable of this type of monstrosity? Like, deep down, he knew he was this type of person, but he was, like you said, Guitar Girly, pretending, you know, all this time. And because now he was with somebody who allowed him to feel just free and be his own type of person that he couldn't control, I don't even know how to say it, he couldn't control himself. He wanted to be 100% himself. I think it was very weird. Someone's secret said, I think it was very weird how he keeps implying in the interview that he had no control and something else was forcing him to do this. It is like he's using his newfound religion to blame it on demonic or devil-like activity to absolve himself. Yeah, I feel like he's using it as a cover. I feel like he's using it as a way to go back kind of towards the old Chris where he can't be seen and he's not in the forefront because he's a narcissist, is what Carly said. I think it's interesting. You know that Dr. Phil mentioned a few times that Chris was a narcissist, and the Rusiks didn't catch on to it. I don't know if the word is catch on, but like they didn't continue, or they didn't themselves say that he was a narcissist. They just talked about how he was before and how they just couldn't believe that he has become who he is now. Nikki said, absolutely agree with that person who said that he was saying he had no control over himself. He doesn't see the world and people the way we see it. No, that he definitely doesn't. He definitely doesn't. I'm sorry that this live is a little bit scattered. It's because I'm thinking about the time, and I'm also thinking about my work, as well as, you know, everything that I said and the other, when I was first recording, I'm trying to kind of hit the same type of points that I said before. What do you guys think about what Frankie said about NK manipulating him? I mean, we've all known from the beginning that NK definitely had some type of input on Chris, but they talked about them watching porn together. You know, we knew that they were intimate constantly, and there was another point that they were talking about how she was saying, I don't want a guy with kids. Now, in NK's interview, she totally tried to play it as if, you know, the relationship was casual, even though they exchanged I love yous, but, you know, she tried to make it seem like they weren't spending that much time together. But obviously, through Chris's confession and a little bit of this information that the Rusiks have been putting out, she really had like, it's like, and they brought up the fact that about her Googling Shanann. Yeah, we've read that in this discovery, but it's just the amount of control she had on Chris is just extremely bizarre, you know. Somewhat Secret said, I'm one of the few who thinks she didn't have anything to do with the actual act, but yes, I think she implied she wanted her own family, which led him to do it. Yeah, like I've gone back and forth between thinking, in the beginning of the case, I was like, she has to be some way involved. And then, you know, more information's coming out, and then I'm thinking she's deleting text messages and, you know, playing down the situation because of her job and her, you know, being in this type of situation. I think any person would try to distance themselves from the case, or from any person any person who has committed any type of murder or anything. But at the same time, yeah, that's what Chris said, that she was bipolar. But at the same time, it's just really like, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. She almost reminds me of when I've watched crime shows where they have a suspect, but they don't have evidence on the person. And then all of a sudden that person either leaves the country or leaves the state, changes their name so that they can never be connected. I wonder if drugs were involved. You think so? I never thought of it that way. But didn't Chris say something like his dad used to abuse cocaine, but he never said the word cocaine. He said a white powdery substance that I didn't know what it was. When, I mean, come on. A white powdery substance isn't very many things. I mean, it could be prescriptions, but at the same time, I mean, it could be something. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Um, Another part that I want to discuss is, we talked about NK. How a lot of what the Rusiks believe correlates to what people on the outside believe. The fact that they, oh my god, I forgot about this part. Sandy told Chris not to go on TV. Did you guys hear that in the interview? She said, I told him like 5 times, don't do an interview. But Chris decided to do the interview. He decided to do the interview, and he was not stressed, and he was not worried. And as soon as they saw it on TV, kind of like the same time that we saw it on TV, and how immediately they knew that he had something to do with them being missing because they were missing at the time, or their disappearance. Let me check back in the comments. Yes, the white powdery substance. I think the patch contributed to his mood. I thought that was weird that it said that it gave him an increased heart rate. Kind of like, you know, like that 5-hour energy drink. You guys tried that before? Or even those monster drinks, when you drink them, you've heard of people who've drinking too many of those and it's almost like their heart explodes because their heart beats too fast. But I wonder if that patch could have contributed. But at the same time, I think this, okay? You know, he was wearing the patch often. But could that really... I feel like there's so many other influences around him that... How could North Korea be the one that makes his whole mood change? Or I don't even know how to explain it. Yes, these narcissists always think they will be able to fool people in the media. Jodi Arias, they all fail. The Thrive patch, it made him go for miles or something. Yeah, and they said that well, maybe because of that too, the increased heart rate from the Thrive patch, plus the fact that he said that he was only getting 3 hours of sleep a night. I guess your brain could have a lot of chemical changes and chemical imbalances if you're doing that for months and months. I've read studies where people who experience insomnia start hallucinating and their whole personality starts to change. I mean, that could. I think he was researching Shanann a year before. Like a black widow. Yeah, Sandy did say that she wanted to fly out there immediately, and I thought it was really nice of her to thank Chris's dad for actually going out there and in a way helping Chris to, you know, confess what he confessed at that time. It's weird that he couldn't say the word cocaine. You know what, Chris's family reminds me of those type of families that whatever goes on in the house stays in the house. You know, you don't tell anybody else your type of business. I heard the date was a typo. Yeah, I heard that too. And I don't remember there being out there. I heard that there were rumors that the police redacted that statement. But I never really saw that anywhere. You know what? They did the IQ test on him. I wonder if that included a psych assessment but they didn't disclose that information. Hey, Blair Bush Project, I have been waiting for a while for you to come back on here because I wanted to ask you real quick, this is off topic. I wanted to ask you how you were able to get off the grid. And while you're typing, I'm going to read Carly's comment. I love Shanann's mom, dad, and brother. It was so sad to see their heartache. Yeah, the last live that I did, I said that I didn't know if I wanted to watch the episode, but I started it to see like if I could get through it, and I was just really amazed of how composed they were, how they were able to articulate everything that they wanted to say, not in a vicious way. Like they were very nice about everything. They were really, yeah, Carly, they were really amazing. I mean, even when they talked about giving away Shanann stuff and Chris's stuff, and I mean, I don't know how I would react. I think I would be angry, especially if I don't know, I think I would show anger if I was being interviewed and I was asked the question, what did Dr. Phil ask? What did the Watts take? Or something like that. And she said they only wanted Chris's jerseys and his trophies from high school and middle school. I think I would be livid. I would not be able to compose myself if I received a call like that. Yeah, they're a very decent family. And it really shows you all those things all those rumors going around about Shanann and her personality and her different quirks. You know, the way you are is a reflection of every member of your family. And it really shows more in depth to everybody who's looking in of how a different side of Shanann and how she probably truly was. There's definitely a stark difference in the families. There is no in between, at least like we haven't seen yet, because sometimes I think these things like, you know, the Watts are being really insincere a lot, and every time that I see them on the news or I read like quotes by them, I feel like they're not being sensitive to Shanann's family. But then I think, you know, they're grieving at the same time, so maybe that's the way that they grieve. I don't know. And then I feel like I have to catch myself times. He never was held accountable for anything, it seems. It seems like Chris was put on a pedestal at his house. I mean, even Chris stated that his dad was abusing that cocaine because he left. Like, I just find that odd, and we read that in the Discovery Files prior to him mentioning that. I just find that a very odd thing to do for a parent, to be that distraught that their child decided to go away to college and then get married and have children and to turn to drugs. But my time is running out. I can't tell you how much work I still have left to do. But I wanted to get on for you guys and let you know that I didn't forget about you, because I did tell people that I would do some type of video or a live. Somewhat secret, you've got work to do too. But really appreciating y'all coming on with me at midnight. Master's program. What program are you in? I have my master's as well. Yeah, no problem, guitar girly. Education. Oh, we're one and the same. What school are you going to? DePaul here in Chicago. Wow. Blair Bush. You showing? Can I show this photo, or you don't want me to show it? I'm gonna wait. Well, I'll wait till you give me confirmation before I show the photo. Yeah, thanks, Carly. Nice chat. I'm sorry it's so short, but I'll come on tomorrow because it's less hectic. I just got a deadline tomorrow. Yeah, I can show it. Okay, I'm showing it. Oh, it's your email. I thought it was a picture. Yeah, I'm gonna email you and show me how you go off grid. Let me copy it and make sure that I have it. Hold on. Let me make sure I actually save it. Alright, I have it. But I'm gonna get off, but I hope that you all stay safe and you wake up refreshed in the morning. And you'll also have a really good night. But I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much, Secret. You too. And good luck on your work as well. We both got a lot of work to do. Thanks, Aquarius. I'm glad I caught you all alive. I've been driving. Good night, everyone. Drive safe home. Good night.